Okay, I can talk now. I was really scared I was gonna fuck that up.
Wait, why?
I'm pretty sure that means we're live.
Because if
moving
I
around fucks with the volume or...
and if I talk in the middle of the two mics, it's just even worse. Oh man. Well, now that Sully has successfully delayed this cast by an hour and a half.
Whoa.
Welcome to the Housecast, episode 6.
Sir, that's racist.
It's only racist because you're Sully.
Fair.
My name is David Kurzbergen, and I'm sitting in a different place today. I'm sitting next to...
He doesn't know my name.
Someone please bring back the nickname.
I'm trying to think of a good nickname.
So.
He doesn't hold any virtues. Justin Blake Cuneo.
Probably not the most creative
I know.
you've done.
I know, but I couldn't.
What was it?
It's fair.
He doesn't hold no virtues.
She's asleep, I think. Jen Hewitt. Yep. The man, the myth, the legend, Jeremy Powell.
Sup?
Also known as JP, J-Pow. What other
Valen 614.
Valen 614. And what other names do you have at work?
No, the J-Pow's the biggest one.
J-Pow.
That was from Kailani.
And last but not least, the love of my life, Sully Gardezi.
Oh, it's so adorable.
Those adorbs.
So, as you guys know, it's a topic-based podcast. We each come to the cast with a topic. Sometimes we come up with them on the fly. I have a topic today. I don't know if anyone else wants to start. I guess traditionally I would start, but Justin sometimes picks it up at the beginning. He looks tired as fuck right now, though.
God damn it, Sully.
Still living.
It's okay, still love you.
I don't specifically have a topic on the top of my head, so I'm going to take a step down on this start.
Alright, well, I will start then. Jeremy will have lots to talk about with this topic, which is why I picked it for today. I want to talk about grinding. I'm talking about level grinding, loot grinding, rubbing your penis against a girl's butt while you dance.
Wait, what?
Grinding.
Just grinding. The word grinding.
Yeah, I'm talking about, grinding up some meat for, a meat pie. I'm talking about, all kinds of grinding, but specifically, I want to talk about the
Video game
grinding that we all know and love, which is loot grinding and level grinding. So I will kind of open the floor to this topic because I don't want to talk about anything specifically. I just kind of want to know what your guys' thoughts are on level grinding. Is it good? Is it bad? When do you enjoy it? What instances have you had where you didn't enjoy it? Just kind of a general, broad topic of grinding and what it is and what it means to you as a gamer. Who wants to start?
I'll take this one away to start it off.
Go for it.
So, it specifically depends on the kind of game that we're playing that I enjoy the grinding in or don't enjoy the grinding in. An example, World of Warcraft. That game is a grind. Nothing but a grind. Can't stand it. Versus something I've been heavy and hot into lately, Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse. That game is one of my top games of all time. It is that good. But a big majority of the game is grinding. But with the way the combat system works, you're not overly pissed off about grinding because it's a fighting game. You're grinding in a fighting game, and you're getting stuff that makes you feel better about yourself.
How good is that game, by the way?
It's amazing.
Is it?
So it's you create your character, you create a Saiyan, a Majin, a Namekian, or a human, or a Frieza, because apparently there's just the Frieza race.
Cool.
And then you level them up, but the things you're grinding for, it's not just levels. You're grinding for your costume, and your costume has different statistical benefits from your head to your chest to your legs to your feet to your boots. You're also grinding for your abilities. Now let me tell you, the grind for Super Saiyan is real. Because holy fuck did that take me 2.5 hours.
Wow. Well, I mean, to be
Only
fair,
2.5 hours though.
For
Just-
one ability.
Just think
Oh,
how long it
Jesus.
took Goku to grind for Super Saiyan.
My point exactly.
Alright, so, you know.
But let's put it this way: there's Super Saiyan, there's Super Vegeta, there's Super Saiyan 2, and Super Vegeta 2. And they haven't yet released Super Saiyan 3. That's in the last DLC pack. And it took me 2.5 hours for one of those. That's not including the Kaioken transformations, all the other transformations they're building into the game. I think they have 3 DLC packs, which adds more to it. And then there's just so much to it. I'm just a big fan.
Okay, can I just say that I really hope that they add in, like, so you can combine together, and then you, like, control half of a character, and then the other person controls the other half. So you
No.
get left half and right half, and you're just trying to work together, and you're like,
It's like a
"Yay!
fucking
No.
It's like a fucking Pacific Rim
It's
robot.
not that. It's not that. It's you don't control the half the person. You control either the hands or the legs.
No, you get
So
one
one
arm
person
and
gets
one
movement,
leg.
one
No,
person
because,
gets the combat.
Because essentially, like, it's just like when Trunks and Goten, like, when they did the whole costume thing, one of them was standing on top of the other person. The other person can still kick and everything and start flailing around with their legs, and the other person is just punching the entire time. I would love that.
So, as of right now, they do have the fusion dance in an emote. Because you
Okay.
know it is an MMO, but
So
you're
it
not
doesn't
required to
need-
play it as an MMO.
That's cool.
Is it like an open world, though?
No,
Oh.
no. There's
It
a,
seems really cool. I looked into it a little bit and I thought to myself, like, maybe I'll try it. And then I just never did.
I'll
I
show it
got
to
other
you
stuff
tomorrow.
play. But it's pretty cool. I like it.
so let me tell you, Big Bang Kamehameha, really underwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're expecting this big thing to blow across the screen? No, it's got a range, and by it's got a range, I mean like you have to be from me to you away, David. Which for people who can't see is like 10 feet away versus the Kamehameha, which is like other side of the goddamn screen.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's really weird.
All
We're kind of getting off topic, but what is the combat like? He's like fighting. Is like Dissidia kind of fighting?
No, it's like Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi level 3 fighting. Or
Oh, okay.
Tenkaichi 2.
Okay.
Not like that shitty Raging Blast bullshit. Because
I
that was a
remember
joke.
really liking Budokai.
Budokai
Back in the
was,
day.
It was a good series.
Budokai Tenkaichi was the best DBZ fighting game.
Yeah.
Well, that was way off topic from grinding.
Yeah, but
It started
it's-
there.
It was
I felt
yeah.
it.
I feel like that's fine. It's a conversational podcast.
But that makes sense though. I could definitely see wanting to grind for that kind of stuff.
yeah, because
that's-
you Destiny.
I
That's the
like.
example
Yeah, I was
can
about to
give.
say, it's like let's talk about grinding and let's talk about Destiny.
Well, the problem is
Been there,
Destiny.
done that.
The grind is so different in that game, and it just doesn't. It doesn't have the same feeling because you're not actually grinding for a specific thing.
You
You're
are
grinding to
for a
hope
specific
to
thing,
get
though.
something randomly.
Well, that's
The
not
spin metal
that's not
grind.
the fact though. Like you're grinding for like material and shit, and you're grinding for
I'm talking about,
experience
like-
to level up your stuff.
I'm talking about like Josh, who is still grinding to get a Yaller horn.
I still
Like
don't have
that's
your
what's
hard.
like. Loot grinding is definitely a type of grinding. We put
Yeah.
so many fucking hours into Diablo 3 just grinding for loot. You know?
Speak of which, I'm currently playing that right now too.
Yeah, that's a great game.
I haven't touched it in so long.
Me neither.
Man, I
I
kinda
want
miss
to.
it though.
I want to get to the point. Like the reason Diablo was so cool is because we had so many people to play with. I wish Borderlands was like that. I wish we had so many people to play Borderlands with, that we could play to the level we were playing Diablo.
Yeah. 'Cause
Borderlands is another good example.
I love grinding Borderlands.
Yeah.
It's not like boring,
Everything's orange.
and the loot is always satisfying
Yeah.
when you get it.
That's when. Yeah, I was gonna say Borderlands is another example of a game where the grinding never feels like grinding.
Now, that's not necessarily true. The level grinding in Borderlands kills me. After a certain point, I just... can you give me more than 100 experience, please?
Aren't there like really efficient ways to grind up characters though? After
No.
you've hit
You
level
could just
60 or
you
70?
could just like power level
Yeah, exactly.
by like doing something that's entirely unintended. Sure.
Yeah, wouldn't you just do that? Like, I mean, yeah, obviously, your first character, you get him to level 70.
Well, it's like
legit.
once a day you can power level your character, and that's by doing bounties.
Are you talking? Oh, you're
You're
back
talking
to
about
Destiny.
Destiny, yeah.
Oh,
I was
wait,
like,
I'm-
He was talking about
what?
Borderlands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we moved on. You were.
I know there's exploits in Borderlands that allow you to power grind really fast.
Yeah.
But I do agree, level grinding is almost never as fun. I was the only. Did you have something to say?
I did, yes.
Okay, this might feed into yours depending
Yeah,
on.
that's why I stopped.
The only game that I can think of, off the top of my head, that I love level grinding in, is Disgaea.
Okay. Okay, because I can agree with that. Because I was waiting for Final Fantasy 13 to come out of your mouth,
Yeah.
and I was gonna like reach across the room and bitch slap you.
No. It's okay. There's two: Disgaea and then Warriors games. That's because Warriors games you can exploit the crap out of them.
Well, that's because the entire game is nothing but grinding, and it's
Yeah.
okay.
That game is based on, but Disgaea, because the level grinding in Disgaea it feels like that is such a important part of not only the game as a whole, but like the grinding is meta in that game in the way that you grind, like with items and stuff.
Well, and something else that makes the grind more legit: randomized levels in the item world.
Yeah, randomized levels, and also the fact that that game is so fucking ridiculous, and also highly exploitable. I guess I like grinding when I can okay, I'm grinding, and then I just find something, I'm like, holy shit, I can grind so fast now. Because in Dynasty Warriors I found that, or not in Dynasty Warriors, but in Warriors Orochi 3, I just found a level that I could just grind in. And I got 5 characters to level 100 in 2 hours. It was fantastic. So, I don't know.
Now,
I sometimes like to grind.
Now, a game that I actually enjoy level grinding in, thankfully, is Pokemon.
Yeah.
Because at that point you're grinding because you're building up this affection of your team. You appreciate your team because you're just playing with them. It's your mons. But you're also effectively grinding for shinies at the same time, which
And grinding for evolves.
yeah. So it implements it well enough that I feel like I'm actually achieving more than one thing at a time.
Yeah, I think that's really important too, and I think another thing that's important is having a team that you're grinding, or a single character that you're you want to have a grind doesn't mean anything unless it's for something in particular, someone in particular, or to reach a specific goal. So I think in that way, loot grinding is sort of more natural in a game like Diablo or Borderlands, and then level grinding is more natural in a game like Pokemon where you have a team, or Disgaea where you have a team, or any tactics-based game, or Dynasty Warriors where I had my core team in Empire or in Ambition mode. And another game that I was thinking about too was what the fuck was I thinking?
So I'm just gonna throw this out there. Best, in my opinion, the single best grinding game of all time, motherfucking Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah, I say, Tactics was a good example.
That game is the best.
So, I like to point out a grinding game that not many people would consider as a grinding game. League of Legends.
It's
It's
not.
It's
No, that game is a grind.
yeah, because if you think about it this way, there's grinding from you trying to get your Smurf up.
Yeah.
There's grinding for LP, those are actually the only 2 grinds.
Well, it's not a traditional
But
grind,
I
but
guess
Well, no, you're also
I guess-
grinding for IP.
Well,
so you
that's
can
what I
buy
mean.
I guess for
That's
me,
what
it's
I
just
mean,
it hasn't been a grind for so long that I
It's
forgot that that's
because
how League
you
is.
don't
But
play on
you're
your
right.
Smurf all that much.
It is, yeah, it is kind of. And another thing too that we haven't really talked about. This is what I was thinking about was ladder grinding, or
Hearthstone.
leaderboard grinding, or grinding for a better time in speedruns. All of these things kind of are effectively the same thing, but you're just doing the same thing repeatedly to get better or achieve some sort of goal. And I think that grinding has pervaded so many games now. Games didn't used to be about grinding for a long time, unless it was an RPG, But now it feels like grinding is in every game pretty much.
Well,
in some
Well,
way.
grinding is being used as a way to increase playtime.
It is.
Perfect
It's
example of that,
filler, yeah.
the achievement and trophy concept.
Oh
A
yeah,
lot of those,
exactly.
that's the biggest grind nowadays, is people grinding for those.
Let me tell you about Dead Rising.
You don't have to tell me about Dead Rising.
Zombie genocider, baby.
53,984?
Yeah. Something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of driving in a car, down a straight line for like an hour.
and a half.
Like, why?
I just think that there's a place for the grinding and there's a place for, like, I have to decide for myself now, like, this is worth it or this is not.
Well, and
Before I do anything.
the grinding has to yield profitable results
Right.
without feeling like the Borderlands level grind, 100 goddamn experience, or versus like Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse. Oh look, I'm grinding for the specific item. Well, I didn't get that. I'm getting money or the potential for Dragon Balls, and the Dragon Ball grind is goddamn real too. But you're getting other things to compensate for what you're not directly looking for, so it may not help your main character, it helps your side characters.
There you go. That's okay.
Yeah.
Because then you don't feel like your efforts are being totally wasted
Yeah.
just grinding one thing out. Having that like bountiful reward for grinding it's perfect. That makes it so
Yeah.
tolerable.
I agree with that. Grinding, if it has multiple layers to it, is always good. Like in Disgaea, you're not only grinding your own character levels, but you're also grinding the levels of your items.
And your stats
And-
for using your weapons. And
Yeah, exactly. And like everything is sort of building. No matter what you do in Disgaea, you are gaining levels somewhere, you know? So it's like, in that way, I think the grind in that game is really good and well designed.
Point to elaborate, of course, for people not overly familiar with Disgaea. Level cap 9,999. Max health 1 billion
Mhm.
per character.
You can do like literally hundreds of millions of damage in that.
Hundreds of billions.
Yeah.
The
If
fuck?
you're, it's a crazy game. It's a fucking crazy game, and I love it. I love it.
So good. So good.
Now, I want to talk to you guys while we're kind of on the same topic before we move on about. I don't know if this can be considered grinding, but this is something that I love in games. Collectibles. Is that considered grinding?
Some
Yes.
of them are. Assassin's Creed, that game is a grind
The
to get
fucking
collectibles.
feathers.
Fuck that. Garbage.
And there are some, in most Assassin's Creed games, I don't do stuff. Like Assassin's Creed 2, I did everything but the feathers. In Black Flag, there was nothing like that. So Black Flag, I literally did everything.
Yeah, that's fine. But if we're talking, like, there's plenty of games where the collectibles, like, if they're, like, kind of hidden out of the way, they, like, give you some sort of reward, rather than just, like, 1 out of 50,000. You're like, cool, I'm getting something. Like, oh, I got a new skin for my character.
Yeah.
Like,
That's why, one of the reasons why Far Cry turned me off after my initial love for the game had faded, because there are so fucking many collectibles in that game, it's insanity, and they don't matter after you get like the first 10% of them. Like you get 10%, you're max level, you have every skill, like you're fucking just done with the game basically. And
It's
like
true.
sure, you could go collect these random pieces of shit that mean nothing to get the trophies, but it doesn't mean anything, doesn't matter, you know? Whereas like a game like Shadow of Mordor, which is impeccable, all of the collectibles mean something, and they do something, and the way that that game is designed is just so genius. Like, I can't speak highly enough of that game. Anyone listening who has not played Shadow of Mordor, do yourself a favor.
If you haven't played Shadow of Mordor, what the fuck is your problem?
It is so,
I like to point out,
so good.
I own Shadow of Mordor. I played like an hour of it. Haven't played it since.
That's because you only played an hour of it. Get 6 hours in, and then tell me that you're not completely addicted to that game.
Get
It's
to the
insane.
Nemesis system. Get that working for you. And
Yeah, and get to the point where it's like fucking Tony Hawk with orc killing. Like, you're just fucking like, okay, I want to get from this end of the map to the complete opposite side of the map, and I don't want to lose my combo chain. How am I going to do this? It is the most fun combat I've ever, like, real-time combat I've ever had in a
And
game.
it's just an Arkham ripoff.
It is. It's like Arkham, but better.
Much better.
It's like, I don't understand, like, that game should have been a...
Shit.
Like, it should have been Game of the Year. Hands down, it was my Game of the Year last year. Like, no fucking questions
God.
asked.
You did take that one.
But, like, no one talked about it. I don't understand why. It was so good.
I'm trying to remember what all came out last year, because I don't think it's Game of the Year, but I do think it's in
Oh
the
my
top 3.
god, it was my Game of the Year last year.
I don't remember what else came out last year.
Smash came out last year. That was the only
Nah.
real competitor last
I
year.
don't even know.
Gone Home last year.
Not a game of the year, though.
No, but I mean, I'm just thinking of like highly acclaimed games. GTA 5.
Oh, I know one. Shit. What was-
Dragon Age, Inquisition. That's the big one.
Oh, The Last of Us Remastered.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck
there we
you!
go! I was about to say, I was like, what's that zombie game?
No.
And that won, right?
This is a topic for another day.
So, at the tail end of the collectibles
Yeah.
and making things meaningful so it doesn't feel like a grind, even on a small scale, like
Oh, shit.
Journey,
Yeah.
the collectibles were so meaningful in that game. It gave you something that wasn't even super relevant, like you don't need a longer jump
Yeah.
because you can complete the game without it, but it makes it so much more magical, and each one you get like has an emotion attached to it.
Yeah.
And like all the little areas that you visit, like they tell the story.
Yeah.
So
And
things
the-
like that.
And the end result
totally
is awesome, even though it's completely cosmetic. Having that white suit at the end is so cool.
Oh, it's not even cosmetic. Brief tangent here. When you go into a game wearing that white cloak, and you see someone with a red cloak just completely in awe, like running around you, just like, whoa, why do they look different? And you helping them find these pieces, magical.
Yeah, that game is extraordinary. Last bit before we move on. I am so goddamn excited for Lego Dimensions. I am going to lose it with that game.
Moving on.
I'm going to fucking lose it. It is Collectibles the game. Oh,
Oh, that big old spike on the little sound meter.
There will be a lot of videos related to that.
Oh my
game.
god, that game is going to be my life after it comes out. I am obsessed with the idea of that game. It is everything I've ever wanted. It is just genius. Oh, okay, moving on. Someone else can put a topic in them. How long have we been on this topic? A while. I can't read that.
Long
I'm not kidding. Let's just move on.
I did come up with a topic. If no one else is ready,
Go for it.
this one's pretty relevant to tonight, especially as David just set his can down. I'm looking for some stories. This isn't like a question or your feelings on something. I'm looking for some like stories about energy drinks, like something like from like way back when you first started drinking them, or you knew someone who did. Something where it's just like, that's a good story. I want to tell someone that. That's
Alright.
what I want to hear tonight.
All right, I got this one.
Oh,
Actually.
Jesus.
So
I had a feeling.
So I'm just gonna start by saying, for people who aren't already aware, I'm drinking my 5th energy drink of the night right now because I'm pulling an all-nighter and I've had a red line. So this story is probably gonna make that list at some point in the future. That being said, however, does anyone remember the phenomenon that was buku?
No.
Oh, yeah. They were really, really big.
Yeah, they were like growler-sized motherfucking tall boy, goddamn amazing energy drinks.
Yeah, bukus.
I was gonna say,
remember.
like, if we're talking about old day, like, big ass motherfucking energy drinks, BFCs, Monster BFCs, I would go every single day. I would have one of those.
It's terrifying. Anyways, Jeremy, continue on.
Right, so me and a friend of mine were camping with his family, and they packed a cooler full of these goddamn energy drinks. And by a cooler, we had like 45.
Oh,
Jesus. It's like $100.
We were there for 7 days camping. That's all we drank.
Jesus.
So we are bolting around through the forest. I'm like 14, 15 at the time. Like, I'm not very old. I am an immature little bitch. So the whole time, I'm just thinking, like, how much more insane can this entire situation get? Well, we happen to be running along through the forest. Fucking deer. So we're trying to figure out, can we catch the deer?
Oh my god.
What?
So just stop and think about that for a minute. And just imagine how bad this could get. And then realize that we're in the middle of a hilly, mountainous area where hunters are. So my friends were bolting around, and my friend's like 2 years younger than me at this point, and there's a hill. And the deer jumps out, we don't see the hill, we bolt, start tumbling. We start fucking tumbling, and then we hear gunshots.
Oh, Jesus.
So we're freaking the balls out, thinking, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, we're gonna die, because we think, catching up to the deer. Now, it's important that I say the point that we think this is happening, because it wasn't. Like, we were so fucking out of our heads that by the time we got to the bottom of the hill, the deer was no longer in sight, and we were thinking we were drowning, because we landed in a puddle. Now, this puddle was literally something where I could fit my head in, and that's about how deep it was. But we were out of our goddamn minds, shrieking like children, not knowing what's going on. And we think at this point we're lost. We don't know what's going on. We literally turn around, go back about 10 feet. Hey, look, there's the camp.
What?
We literally we actually followed our path because we had footsteps because it was kind of muddy. We literally went in a 3-mile radius circle where the deer was circling our camp. Lo and behold, it wasn't actually a deer. The dude in a deer costume.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, and the dude got shot?
Oh,
Oh,
no, not at all. No, they were practicing, the guys were firing blanks to see if they can get the target on because they were practicing for hunting. Now, apparently that's common practice, because fuck if I know, I've never heard of that shit before, but...
That's so funny.
What the fuck? That story, like, derailed.
Dude.
So that's like, what the hell?
Some jacked up teenagers chasing down a man in a deer suit.
I want to make, like, an animated
Short
like,
of that?
short of that. Yeah. So,
Pissed off about that at all?
I just remember when energy drinks were becoming a thing. We were like, what, 8th grade?
Yep, right around then.
And I just remember people, like, hyped these things up. I'd never had one before. People were like, oh my god, you're going to be just so wired, dude. You're not going to know what's going on. Well, I can drink a lot of caffeine without, like, really tipping over. Like, I can sustain myself on caffeine. I drink a lot of it. So, I just remember 9th grade, after people had started drinking energy drinks quite often, I went to the ice rink, the Sportsplex ice rink in Bellingham. And
I haven't got
they
that
would,
forever.
I know, right? They would sell energy drinks there to the fucking, like, 12 and 13-year-old little girls that would think they were going fucking insane because they had just drinking an energy drink, but I knew what was going on. And this is my theory about energy drinks. Clearly, energy drinks give you energy. Obviously. I would not be awake right now if it weren't for an energy drink. But they do not do that much unless you're like Jeremy, you drink like 5 of them in an hour. But these girls would just drink like half an energy drink and be like, oh, I can't even have a whole one. If I have a whole one, I'll just faint. So they would like share them, and then they would just act like fucking maniacs for the rest of the night. For like 4 to 6 hours. I'm like, that's not how this works. You clearly are faking it because you want to make everyone think that these energy drinks are like this awesome thing. It was like getting drunk before you could get drunk, you know? So I always found myself annoyed by energy drinks in the early stages because I didn't really get it. And I had one, I was like, I don't feel anything, I don't get it. And then I remember people started like abusing them really bad. Particularly I remember like junior and senior year, Noel and Ott and Coda and them would just pound these things back. And I remember Coda one time took, what was it? Was it 2 full spike shooters like in 5 minutes, and was like having palpitations, and I was like, this is a problem now. This needs to stop. And like I just remember my experience with energy drinks has always been, okay, I need to stay up a little bit longer. I'm going to have an energy drink. You know, that's what it's always been, and I feel like that's exactly what they're for. But some people just don't get it, I don't think. Like when we were younger, people would people would drink them to like have an excuse to be fucking off the wall, batshit crazy.
Yeah.
And then later on, like towards the end of high school, people were like, how fucking many of these can I drink? and how fucking weird will it feel? And that's my experience with energy drinks, like, overall. So I just have these little tiny stories. Like, I remember I was dating Sarah at the time. We went to the ice rink once, and she literally had, like, a couple sips of a Monster. I had the rest, so I know how much she had. And she was like, oh my god, I'm so fucking crazy. And I was like, Sarah, shut up. Just, you are not this high energy because of an energy drink. You are this high energy because you're a crazy person.
And like a 14-year-old girl.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, people just like made it the assumption that these things were like fucking crack, which is not what they are.
No.
So
Well, they are if you go insane and
yeah, if you
stupid
just
on them.
you know. But that's my experience with energy drinks. That's like, yeah.
All right. Sully, you got a fun story?
Yeah. Well, like, wait, what was like on
Just
his
about
topic?
just related to energy drinks.
Does it have the story related to energy drinks, or is it just a story?
About
I mean,
energy drinks.
If you
I'm-
want to tell
I'm-
a story,
I mean,
that's
I was
fine.
specifically asking about things related to energy drinks, but I mean,
If you
Let's
just have a
see here.
cool story to tell, I mean,
I've-
that's fine.
Haven't had a cool story with energy drinks. I'll be honest with you. Like,
Really?
They're just a normal part of your life, though.
yeah, I
Oh.
drink them all the time.
yeah. Every time we go to work, he grabs one before we start.
Yeah. Like, let's see here. I honestly can't think of anything that would be a crazy story with energy drinks.
That's fine. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Not everyone has to have them.
Yeah.
I have two like kind of mini stories, I guess. 'Cause they're not like super long or cool or like they don't involve deer costumes.
Yeah, no, that was one of the most interestingly disturbing experiences of my entire life.
The reveal for that was just perfect.
That was an M. Night Shyamalan.
You're welcome.
But, yeah,
I only
no,
wish it was fake.
Now, neither of the stories are actually involving me. Well, I mean, like, I was around for them, I experienced them, but
Yeah.
it wasn't me drinking them, because I am not a huge energy drink person. I don't like the taste of most of them, so I don't really drink them, but it was like you were saying, back when they were first starting to become a thing, but it also kind of meshes when people abuse them.
Yeah.
So Tim Green,
Mhm.
not the Tim from here, well, my other Tim, right?
Yeah, Tim Green, yeah.
That kid. So back when energy drinks were first becoming like relevant and people were starting to drink them, I think it was for his birthday or something. We were down at some like little grocery place. I can't remember the name of it, like Silver Beach or something. It's just some local place here in Bellingham, but he drank like 14 of them.
14?
Yeah. His skin literally was spotting orange,
What the fuck?
and he was just vomiting in a storm drain.
Jesus.
So, I it's not like it's a like hugely interesting story. I remember it so like disgustingly, because I was like, what the hell?
I feel like anything that you drink 14 of in a short span of time is a bad idea.
Unless it's water.
Particularly energy drinks.
And I mean, this is like young teen age too.
Ah, Jesus.
So-
Yeah, you drink 14 bottles of water, you're gonna feel like shit. Like 14 goddamn energy drinks?
Yeah, it was. I mean,
How
it
do you
might
not
not
die?
have been 14 exact. I don't remember how many it was, but I'm pretty sure it was over a dozen.
That's fucking insane.
Now, yeah, the other one is related to Nelson,
Of course it is.
who was part of that whole like crazy kid, like, I'm gonna test my limits, because that's when we first discovered spike shooters,
Right.
when they just started popping up at 7-Eleven.
Can I pause real quick?
Yeah.
I have no idea what the fuck a spike shooter is.
Okay, this is perfect, because I was about to explain.
5 energy before they were a thing.
A spike shooter, for anyone who doesn't know, is a standard Red Bull sized can that I have only ever found at the Ferndale 7-Eleven specifically. I've never found it at another one either.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Probably because they're illegal.
One can contains 33,000% of your daily B12.
Fuck.
Yeah, it is the highest potency energy drink I have ever seen. And, so yeah, it's recommended, like, on the can, it's like, don't drink more than half a can unless you know what you can drink.
Yeah.
Perfectly fair warning. Nelson's like, ha, drink. Cool. No, he's fine. Whatever. He goes home, chilling at my place just at my apartment at my mom's house. He lives across the street. A little while later, I just hear, knock on my door. I'm like, fuck. I get up, go look, and here's Nelson standing in my doorway, just like, just the most like unreal sight I had seen. Just he's like, I have so much. I was talking to someone, and they were like, you should get a bike and you should ride around. And I was like, what the hell is going on? It's like, yeah, you could borrow my bike. So I let him borrow my bike, and he just took off. I don't know how far he rode. I don't remember how long it was. But the heavy panting and panic that I saw and heard from him standing in my doorway was just magical.
Jesus.
Fun little mini story related to energy drinks right there.
God.
Did you look up how much B12 was in your can there?
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
33,000%.
Yeah.
In a Red Bull size can.
That's fucking stupid.
Yep. So yeah.
20%.
So, just for you guys, a brief pause. So, as to why I was frantically laughing there a moment ago wasn't unfortunately related to the story. So, I just played solely in 2 games of Hearthstone. First one was his Murloc deck versus my random priest.
The random.
Killed everything.
So, I thought stole into his Neptulon. Yeah. Yeah. And then I got all the Murlocs. It just everything he did, I killed it. But then it was my Murloc deck against his Warlock deck. And my favorite combo got to happen. Knife Juggler. Plus the Dark Whispers, summon 5 Wisps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The look on Sully's face as it was happening was pure confusion.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I love Knife Juggler. That card is great.
Yep.
Easily in my top 10.
I built my Paladin deck around him earlier. Totally worth it.
Yeah.
Won my 2 ranked games, no problem.
It's a great card. Super high value.
All right. Topic 3. What's going on that side of the room?
My topic is what was your biggest addiction and like how you got over it. Now it's gonna be addiction on anything.
Now, what if you're not over it?
Then what's your biggest addiction?
What is your biggest addiction you've got over, maybe? You could always look at it that way.
Well, do both. If you have, like, if the biggest addiction you've ever had, you've gotten over, tell that. And if it's something you haven't gotten over, talk about another addiction that you did get over as well.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you want me to start, or did anyone else got it first?
I'll have to think, so you can go for it.
Cool. So, my biggest addiction that I've never actually gotten over is games. Now, the reason I claim this as an addiction is because I spend gratuitous amounts of money on games. I own well over 200 games.
Jesus. Good collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of those 200 games, I've probably beaten like 87 of them.
That's pretty good, though.
That's a pretty good capital.
Now,
Yeah.
is that like Humble Bundle included? Or
Nope.
like just retail?
I've purchased one Humble Bundle, and that was recently.
Oh, okay.
And that was to get a PC copy of Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2 so I can mod.
Okay.
Now, speaking of that, I do own a copy of Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2 on Xbox 360, PS3, and now PC with every iteration of the DLC because I'm kind of a BioWare bitch, and I'll admit it.
Apparently.
So I have not been able to get over this addiction, and I don't care because everyone deserves one bad habit in their life, And while mine is expensive, at least it doesn't slowly kill me inside like cigarettes.
That's fair. I'm all for that.
Mm.
Gaming, at least. I mean, if you're gonna sit there and pound down an energy drink and like just bathe in sugar while you're playing, it's not really the best for you. But at least you're not like ruining your lungs. So I can totally
Or
agree.
destroying
with
your liver.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like
Or,
some people.
or inhibiting yourself and being a dick. We'll go down that road right now. We'll do that later. That'll be like we'll do a special episode at some point that'll just be the serious cast. And we'll just do serious topics.
That's gonna be just the worst.
It is going to be the worst, but we got to do it at some point.
I would love to be there for that. 'Cause
I could tell you would be, like, you would know a lot of what I was saying, because I've got some really crazy stories with you in particular. Addictions that I have gotten over, probably the biggest one and the most recent one was my caffeine addiction, actually. My Sunkist addiction, particularly. So, the summer of last year, 2014, I quit my job at the casino, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to party very hard. And by party very hard, I meant, like, I'm going to do whatever I want, whenever I want. I'm not going to care what anyone thinks or what anyone says. I'm going to, like, eat whatever I want and drink whatever I want, whenever I want to. I'm not going to take no for an answer. I'm just going to, like, do what I want when I want, goddammit. And I love Sunkist soda. I love it. It is, like, the best. I just love it. So I started out the summer drinking, like, maybe 1, 2 a day. Sometimes 3 on a really bad day. And then, as the summer progressed, it was like I was literally chain drinking Sunkist. Like, if I did not have one open, I went and got one. Like, that's how it was for me. And along with that came a sugar addiction, obviously, and a caffeine addiction, because it's caffeinated. And both of these things, like, stacked up to the point where, like, if I did not drink a Sunkist in a day, like, if I had a single day where I did not drink a Sunkist, I would, like, be obviously, like, dead, like, no energy. I would have the worst headache ever. I would go down with, like, chills. It was really bad. That was, like, probably one of the bigger addictions of my life. So, at the tail end of the summer, as I was starting to, like, rebuild myself, I went to the doctor because of some other reason, which I won't go over. But I went to the doctor for another reason, and we did, like, a basic checkup and stuff, and he was like, "You are pre-diabetic." And I was like, "What?"
David, this scrawny little, like, lanky motherfucker.
Yeah. He was like, if you continue to drink this much sugar, you will become diabetic. You need to stop. And it wasn't like you need to slow down. It was like you need to stop and you need to cleanse your body right now. If you don't, you're going to have problems. And I was like, okay. So I stopped drinking soda entirely.
Yeah, that was a weird week.
I drank only water. I ate only, like, healthy foods. Tried not to eat any gluten. That was weird.
Yeah.
Not
Not a fan of that time frame.
That was such a weird week. It was like 2 weeks, actually. I went pee more in that week, or that 2 week span, than I had gone pee, like, the past 3 months in a row. I seriously went pee every half hour, like clockwork. I could not sleep. I had to pee so much. Because my body was cleansing itself of all of the fucking toxins and sugar that I had consumed over the summer.
Ugh.
It was horrible. Horrible, actually. It was, like, one of the worst experiences of my life. It was crazy. My stomach had problems. I was never hungry. Like, as soon as I stopped drinking soda, I lost my appetite. I lost my drive. Like, everything. It was really weird. And then after, like, a week or two, I felt great. Just, like, felt fantastic. I was like, oh, I feel better than I felt in months. Like, it's crazy how that works. And then slowly since then, I've been, like, building up my tolerance again. And now I'm to the point where I drink
Like
soda.
a can a day.
I drink like a can of Sunkist. I try to like limit myself on my soda. When I go to work, I have a soda, but it's not like a big soda. You know, I have like a cup, you know, and it doesn't kill me.
Yeah.
And I drink a lot of water now, like a lot of water, especially at work. I just constantly have a water. So I'm better now, but that was like one of the worst ones. The only other addiction I can think of that was as bad as soda and Sunkist in particular was my painkiller addiction, which ran from like late 2011 to like early 2013, where it wasn't like I'm taking so much painkillers that I'm like getting high off of it. It was just like, if I don't take painkillers, I will feel like I'm in pain all the time, kind of thing. I don't know if you guys have ever watched House. Like, you've watched House. I know you have. Like, the entire first season when he's just popping Vicodin.
Yeah, it's just to be neutral.
That was me. Yeah, I was just popping whatever I had. Ibuprofen, aspirin, sometimes cocktail mixes, just to, like, keep myself level. And then I had my wisdom teeth taken out at the end of 2013. They put me on Vicodin for way longer than I should have been on Vicodin. I was on it for like 8 weeks after my wisdom teeth were out, which is not normal.
3.
What? Yeah, it's normally 3, but they refilled me twice, and then.
Sully's like, nice, nice.
Well, it was awesome. I felt great. Sully, were you here the time when I was super high?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the best times.
The wisdom teeth was the worst because like I really love the feeling of painkillers, and I was like taking ibuprofen before my wisdom teeth came out, and then I was taking 1 Vicodin, and then that wasn't enough, so I was taking 2 Vicodin, and then I was taking 3, and then eventually it was to the point where I was like, I just want to take it not because I'm in pain anymore, just because it feels good. So I was like just taking 3 or 4 Vicodin at a time, just like. And then one time, I came downstairs after I had just taken 4 Vicodins. I don't remember it, but they told me the story so many times that I might as well remember it. I was so high out of my mind, it was insane. I basically came downstairs, like slowly walked across the living room, didn't acknowledge the fact that Blazer Sully was sitting on the couch, walked to the fridge, opened up the fridge, saw a cheesecake sitting there. With like strawberries and whipped cream on top. And I just looked at it, and I just smiled from like ear to ear, and I pulled it out of the fridge, and I put it on the counter, and I tried taking the lid off. Keyword tried. I had no motor skills at that point, so I was sitting there for like probably, 2 or 3 minutes trying to get this fucking lid off.
I'd like to point out when you opened the fridge to get the cheesecake out, you were standing there for like 5 minutes just looking into there. Please, just like, what the fuck are you doing? And you wouldn't respond to us.
So I pull it, I finally get the lid off. And you think like, oh, okay, he's just gonna nom on this cheesecake, right? No. I take my hand and I just put it on top of the cheesecake. I just move my hand around. And this is the first time I acknowledge that Sully and Blaze are there. I say, guys, this feels so good.
It's so fucking good.
And I like take my hand off the cheesecake and I like lick it off. And I like wash my hand. And I don't even get a piece of cheesecake. I just put the lid fucking back on the damn cheesecake and I put it in the fridge. And then I go upstairs to do who knows what. So, moral of the story. I ran out. They wouldn't refill me anymore. I tried. They wouldn't refill me. And I was just like, okay, well, I guess I'm just going to have to slowly come off of this. I was taking like 4 or 5 ibuprofens, slowly whittled it down. And eventually I, finally just cut them out entirely. But then that was a weird time of my life too. So those are like my big 2 addictions. My family has a history of addictive personalities, so it happens. I'm sorry, I talked for a really long time.
It was good. It was all good.
So since I've never had a chance to mention the addiction that I actually overcame, I actually am very proud of this because this was a recent change when I actually got promoted.
Mm-hmm.
I cut out sugar.
Seriously?
Not 100%, but
Jesus.
everything I drink, every energy drink I drink, every soda I drink, it's diet or it's zero sugar, because I know at some point I'm gonna have to kick these habits. But if I go from, I don't have the willpower that you do to just go cold turkey. I can't do it. I'm a bitch.
It was hard. It was the worst.
So if I've been weaning myself off of the sugar aspect of it, so I have actually been on diet soda and like diet energy drinks since January.
God damn.
And let me tell you, Diet Pepsi and Diet Coke fucking suck.
Yeah.
They're just like the most miserable excuse for a drink that's ever existed in this world.
Now, granted, I don't like colas to start with. Then when you
I used to drink
when you
nothing but
become
Pepsi,
diet?
though. I used to drink nothing but Pepsi. David can attest to this. I used to go through like a 24 pack in like 4 days.
Yeah.
gross.
Like just 2 liters at a time. Yeah.
And so at this point, it came to a point where I'm just like, you know what? It's time to make a change for that. So I can't do Pepsi or I can't do any cola anymore. So it's Diet Dr. Pepper. And let me tell you, that shit's really fucking good.
I've heard that. That Diet Dr. Pepper's like the only diet soda that's good. I've heard that.
Hashtag Dr. Pepper.
True. Well, Diet Mountain Dew is not bad, but there's just other shit in Mountain Dew that you just shouldn't be drinking.
Mountain Dew's really bad.
So good.
Now that we're talking about this, I'm like, I should probably cut down. Like
So,
on my Sunkist consumption and stuff. I'm like, I should probably.
Do you want to go? Or
Go for it.
no, I should. I feel like I should go last because mine's pretty real. Like my addiction I got over.
Well, okay. Mine's not super real, so I could either tone it down and like break away from the sadness after, or I can preface your story with some
Tame.
sad humor.
That's up to you. That's
Well-
you guys.
That's it. Let the god of faith decide. Flip
Oh.
a goddamn coin. But you gotta flip a real coin, none of this penny shit.
Close. We got an app for this. Download the app.
Fuck it. We're flipping a dime. Heads Sully, tails Justin, go.
Heads.
That's what I said. So heads, Sully's first.
Alright.
All right, I will bring us back, ladies and
That's
gentlemen.
fair.
Oh man, this is. I haven't thought about this in a while, but so starting on junior year of high school,
Oh shit.
I ran into an addiction with drugs. And it wasn't like really bad like meth or cocaine or anything like that. It started with weed, but then it got to shrooms and ecstasy. Okay, so E is actually really bad. But
Yeah.
I had a really bad addiction to ecstasy for a really long time. And I didn't actually get over it until 2 years after graduating. Oh man, it was really bad. No one, I think the only person that actually knew about it was Micah.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Like Micah, only one being like that knew about it and everything like that. He actually helped me try getting over it, but was addicted to that. I don't think it would be a problem with like alcohol. Like I started drinking as well, like towards after like graduating, stuff like that. Did that kind of stuff. And I'll be honest with you. So when I stopped taking E and tried quitting on it, it's the reason why me and Jasmine broke up. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it was a really hard patch. Not patch, I don't know what the word of it is, but like stretch, I guess. Yeah, like quit with that, and then there was a whole bunch of like issue that happened at home. And so I quit with it and like started going through the whole like rough thing with me and Jasmine and everything, and then stuff at home happened, and then like I broke up with Jasmine, and then like a week later I actually got back onto it. And it was like the whole like, you know, like the whole AA thing is like, well, you're clean for a certain amount of time, and like you relapse. Yeah. Like I relapsed back onto it, and like I got back onto it like 3-4 months, and then quit again. Like I tried going, just like no, I'm done. And earlier, I mean, I went cold turkey. I think when I knew that was a really bad idea, and so like after that, I started going like really soft on it because I was probably doing. I think at the time when it was like at the worst peak, it's like 2-3 a day. Yeah. And then I quit down to like 1 every other day, and then like eventually I just ended up stopping.
Yeah. I actually had a lot of friends go through the ecstasy phase because they got really popular right at the end of our high school age.
Yeah.
Especially in this damn town.
Yeah. Well, like, I knew someone who was like a drug runner from like to and from Seattle that would be carrying like thousands of pills at a time.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So
I
my
think-
friends were right in the hot seat for it, definitely.
Let me tell you, like once when I stopped, like after the relapse, and then I like finally started quitting down on it, like oh my god, my body was freaking out. Like myself, I was also freaking out. Like I had no idea what to do because like when I was on that, just my days would just like fly by, and like it was all perfectly fine. But like days started like getting really long. I had no idea what to do with myself, and that's when like I started using other people to like get it over it, like sex and everything, and that's actually what led into my whole thing where I hate sex now, is because of that as well.
I figured there was some sort of connection there.
Yeah, no, because like since that whole thing and like me doing that to fill in the void with that made me quit, like, well, made me stop doing it now. So now it's just like it's disgusting to me.
That's fair. That's good reasoning, though.
Yeah.
Probably the most justified reason to avoid sex.
I've learned so much about Sully today. I didn't know any of this.
Yeah, no, I don't tell anybody about it.
I knew a chunk of it because we had our little heart to heart about your previous relationships once.
Yeah.
So you kind of mentioned it before, like in passing, like while talking about other things. But
Yeah, like I think I mentioned to you like the like family shit and stuff like that. So,
yeah, because it was related to Paimon, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
Yeah, there's
I don't know.
there's like
I feel like
so much to Sully.
Yeah, I feel like we all have these things, right? That we like. It's not that we're hiding them necessarily. It's just we don't like bringing them up, or like we just
Or,
or we're over them and we just want to like just put them away. Like Jeremy, I can't even tell you how many times I've just sat down with Jeremy and just like talked about stuff like this. Even with you too, I've done it where I'm just like I have to talk. Like
Yeah.
there's just been moments where like I come downstairs and like I just Jeremy does it too. I mean, I don't know. We have these moments where we just like talk about things that happen to us or things that, like the way that we feel about things. It's just like, I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy that it's happening right now on a podcast. So,
For all of the internet to hear.
yeah.
Well,
I don't know where we're at.
Justin's turn.
we're at me talking about my addiction.
Before we
Okay.
go into that, just gonna throw us out there. I appreciate you, Sully.
Thank you.
Me too, Sully. I love you, man.
You suck. I deal with you.
That's how I feel about Jen.
Oh.
She's
That's
asleep.
not.
She
That's
doesn't
not.
hear-
I was gonna say that's not funny. She can't even hear it.
I feel like she can hear me. She's just being a...
She's dreaming
No,
about
she
this
is
right now.
out. She had 8 hours of sleep in the last 3 days.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was bad.
I also
Well,
appreciate
And
you,
she
fuckers.
just started her job.
I feel kind of bad. But no, I do love you guys, seriously. You guys are the best.
No, that's why
Alright,
we're here.
let's do it.
Yeah, mine's a lot less like deep and hard because I've never.
You've never touched any of that stuff?
Yeah, I've never like taken a puff of a cigarette, never tried a drug, never like sipped alcohol. I've got nothing to like really addict me.
You've never had weed or anything like that either?
No,
No.
he's never taken a
yeah.
single drug.
Well, because
Yeah.
I knew you weren't in any, like, never alcohol and all that stuff, but
Yeah, no, nothing. I actually avoid painkillers as much as possible. So, like, I'm to the point where if I am in miserable pain because I have, like, a really bad back, I'll take 2 ibuprofen and I'm just done for the whole day. Like, that's perfect.
Oh my god, I would.
Because I'm so intolerant to chemicals changing my body. So it's really nice on that level, but
Sorry, Jen.
she was supposed to be here talking, but it took so long to come down that
The longest game of League.
Yeah.
my addiction is actually going to be gambling,
Really?
which the worst part of it is that I'm over it in the sense of I have avoided starting. Because I know for a fact I am addicted to gambling.
Without ever having gambled?
Any false gambling, I love it. Played, like, poker with friends, poker in games, slot machines. I grew up with scratch tickets. Yeah. I would be entirely poor. And probably very far in debt. So, the way I have got over my addiction is to not get addicted. Like, even as silly as it is, like, playing Borderlands, going to Moxie's and hitting the slot machine, I can do it until I'm broke. Is there a good reward anywhere at any point from it? No. But, like, what could I get? Like, what could it be? Like,
That
maybe
explains-
I'll just win.
That explains a lot about Borderlands for you.
Yeah. That's actually part of why I like the loot system of Borderlands 1 so much more, is because I want just the random, like, loot.
Yeah, we've been
That's
over
like-
this quite extensively.
Yeah, it's like Diablo 3. That's why that system is so good to me. It's random. Doesn't matter what it is, something's gonna drop it, and it could be anything.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That makes so much more sense now. I didn't know that. Like, we've talked about this at length. Like, I like a more structured loot system. I love Borderlands 2, for example, because, like, I know where loot is going to drop. I just have to go get it. Whereas you're more into, like, what could I get, you know?
Yep.
And I like some of that, but I like structured loot more. So that makes a lot of sense. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So not very serious because it hasn't
No, that's
been
the serious end.
detrimental.
Having worked at a casino, Jen can probably attest to this too now.
There's a woman today, and she won $3,000.
I think David was going to go more in the direction of
But here's the thing.
he saw sad people
I
there every day.
I saw really sad people literally every day.
Yeah.
But for every
Oh, no.
person who won $3,000, they spent $5,000.
No, she left home with nothing. That was where I was going.
Well, yes.
But she's also probably been there gambling and spent $5,000 to get to that.
Well, maybe not
3,000.
even.
No,
There are
no.
some people that just show up and get lucky, right? But
That's
then
She
there's
spent the
those.
$3,000 she just got, and like 2 seconds later, guys,
Oh.
I'm going.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Jesus.
See, we should just let you finish.
Okay, someone did.
Or,
I
you
just
know, she
figured she
should have
was too
just
tired.
gotten to the ending quicker.
But no, like Jen's right though. People would win jackpots and be like, "Oh my god, I have so much to gamble with," and then be gone. They'd be like, "Oh."
Yep.
I'm like, you could have walked away with $1,000.
See, that's my mentality. TJ has a gambling addiction. And he'll go in there, throw $100 in slots and walk away with nothing, and he'll get to a point where he's like up $900. Instead of stopping, he's like, oh, I'll get this down to a certain point. And that certain point always drops lower.
It's like, well, yeah, because okay, I'm 900 up, awesome, I have $1,000. Well, I guess if I put 500 towards more gambling, then I'm still up 400. So that's a total victory. There's no loss there, and then you can just continually go down and down and down. Gambling is terrifying.
And no, it legit is.
Yeah.
My new coworker told me that he called up his ex-girlfriend and is asking for every article of jewelry he ever gave her, every piece of clothing he ever gave her, because he's so far in debt from gambling now he can't pay rent and stuff.
Yeah.
She ain't giving it back. But he tried.
Yeah, fuck that. I wouldn't give that shit back.
That's crazy.
He bought her a car, dude.
He's
Like
just
a
an idiot.
brand new Honda Civic.
Yeah,
And I was like, what
that's
the
just
fuck?
stupidity, though.
Yeah, I mean that's plain stupidity. But I mean, it's a problem though. Like I said, I've seen it firsthand. It's a problem.
Yeah. Well, now that you're here, do you wanna discuss an addiction that you've gotten over, your biggest addiction?
Mm.
Girls.
I don't have addictions.
Oh my god.
Bullshit.
If we, I could tell the story for you guys right now. I already know her story.
What's my story?
Oh my god.
What am I addicted to?
You're not anymore. That's the point.
What was it?
Well, you might as well
Painkillers
know.
and alcohol.
Oh yeah, you know they're.
That was a thing.
Oh, I'm not addicted to anything. Bat my eyes over and over and over.
Shut up,
He's just
Sully.
jealous that you can't bat your eyes as effectively.
Yeah.
I could actually.
So
Bold.
just for the sake of making it quick, since I don't think she's. Are you gonna tell it?
Perfect.
Yeah. So she used to in high
Bullshit.
school pop pills, get drunk, and then go to school.
It was Vicodin, thank you.
Yeah.
That shows.
That's still.
Hey, I can attest to that. I just got done talking about how I had a Vicodin addiction for a while.
Yeah.
It was
So-
so good.
So she would just get beyond fucked up and then go to school.
I literally cannot remember like a solid year and a half between my sophomore year and my junior year. Like I literally cannot remember that part of my life at all. It's not because I blocked it. There's just blur. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Like a year and a
I know,
half
that is-
between sophomore year and junior.
No, like during
That's
that
like
time.
that's a 1 year difference.
It was a whole year and a half there.
Well, that's how destroyed she was. There was like 500 days in that span.
Maybe
Yeah.
she like got held back or something.
No.
Super duper super.
I got what you meant though.
No, I can attest to that too. Like, just on painkiller, not even on alcohol, but on painkillers. Like, yeah, there's moments of that year and a half span between 2011 and 2013 that I don't remember either. It's pretty crazy.
And plus, you were also a smoker, and you quit smoking.
But I was a social smoker, so that doesn't count.
Oh my god. as
That
a
absolutely fucking counts.
kid. It wasn't even a
You wanna
social
talk about
smoker.
social smoking? Talk to anybody at work. Seriously, they're all like, I don't actually smoke. I just smoke because everyone here smokes. And I'm like, you're lying to yourself. Like,
Now, Sully should stop smoking
yeah.
on this topic.
So you need to stop.
Wait, what?
You need to stop smoking.
I thought you
Stop
did
whenever I want.
stop.
He had stopped for a long time, and then he's like, man, people are smoking at work. I'm going to smoke too.
So here's the thing about
I was
smokers.
proud of you, Sully. You helped me quit.
Everyone who
Oh.
smokes. I just won a $50 bet against someone who I said wouldn't quit smoking. And
Johnny
he didn't make it a
Hackler.
week.
Was it Johnny?
No.
Oh.
TJ?
No. William Breckenridge. None of you guys probably didn't know him, but he's on Cody Smith's team.
I'd seen the name before, that's it.
1 week is all it took. Adam Judge, said he was going to quit smoking. He finished a pack. That night, he bummed a cigarette off of TJ. 3 days later, another smoke.
Yep.
So anyone who says they quit smoking, at this point they're full of shit until they can prove it.
Yep. My dad's quit smoking like 8 times.
I've stopped smoking for like a good while.
That
like,
doesn't
I'll take
count.
Long breaks.
That doesn't count as quitting smoking.
I never said I quit. I just took long
I'm
breaks.
just pointing that out there.
Now,
You quit helped me quit.
Now, I
You
will
suck.
give my aunt, Tammy, shout out to my aunt right now. I will give her some serious cred. When we were growing up, me and Caden were just like, ugh. Because, like, Tammy, Fred, which is his dad, my mom, all three of them that were always around, they all smoked constantly. Heavy smokers. Tammy, like, quit for a couple years or whatever. It was really good. Awesome. And then she started back up again. She more recently had quit. She's like, why smoke cigarettes when I can just smoke weed? And it has worked flawlessly for
To
her.
be fair, weed is much
Yeah,
less dangerous.
It's much
Oh, yeah.
healthier.
but much more expensive.
Weed is so non-dangerous, in fact, that like it's astonishing.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a daily trend in my household. I'm like one of the odd ones out who doesn't smoke
it's
consistently.
crazy how little weed affects your body. Like, it's crazy. I didn't even like realize it until I did the research. But like, weed,
It has,
it's like
it has
no,
positive impacts
yeah,
even.
it has like barely any negative qualities to it.
Kind of makes you stupid,
But
but,
Well, I mean, yeah, it makes you stupid, but
I
like,
mean, and that's a whole separate thing.
but,
It
like,
is.
Well,
I'm
like,
just saying, like-
well, yeah, like alcohol and cigarettes, which have been legal for like 80 plus years, are so much worse on so many levels.
what's the
It's
worst thing that's going to
insanity.
happen when you're smoking weed and driving? You're going to go 25 miles under the speed limit, think you're speeding.
Well, no, you should never drive impaired. But
I'm not arguing
Regardless
that
of
fact,
what
but I'm
you
saying
But
in
you can
comparison to what
function-
happens.
Yeah.
you can still function when you're
Versus
stoned.
people who drink and drive and they're fucking stupid.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
so this is just a shout out to my aunt. I love you. I'm still proud of you. And I think anyone who smokes weed already should follow in those footsteps. And just, if you smoke weed and cigarettes, just quit smoking cigarettes and just smoke weed.
Yeah?
Do it. You will feel better. Like, she feels so much younger.
There's only one downside to that logic. Not really something you can do at work.
Well, yeah, I mean,
That would be kind of awkward. Just saying.
whatever. I
Just-
mean, if you're gonna go and blast a blunt at work, you know, right on, man. More power to you. Good luck on your next job. Yeah, that's my personal recommendation.
That's the thing with smoking is it's not considered an impairment because it doesn't impair you in any way. So it's like the easy way out. You know.
I just think it should stop being supported in a workplace.
Yeah.
Huh?
No.
Huh?
People would riot.
Yeah.
No.
Remember the riots when it was taken away from actually being done inside bars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, why was it ever allowed inside them? You gotta think about it. The logic is just really bad.
Well, the logic's been bad surrounding smoking
Because-
since smoking was invented.
Yeah, because we thought it was good for you and cool and. Either way, whole nother topic.
Well, it's a conversation.
So it's funny because this entire conversation has reminded me of the worst addiction I've had, which is funny because it's not a physical addiction, but it's an emotional and mental addiction. And it's something that nobody really thinks about, but as thinking about this conversation, it's got me going on it. Role playing.
I was really hoping it was gonna be something like you mentally wanted anal every day. Like,
That's a
damn.
physical addiction.
No, just like the
No,
thought of I
yeah.
really want a dick.
Yeah,
Just
I was really hoping
slamming
that's
my
what you were
butthole.
You're just addicted to thinking that way.
Yeah, you might not even be gay. You may be like, I don't even like guys. I don't even think they're attractive. I just really want a dick in my ass. Maybe.
You were like
Maybe.
beating that up so hard that I was like, yeah, say it. Say it.
Is it just because you just want anal?
No.
Yeah, it is.
Justin,
No.
you should take care of that later.
No.
Dude.
I'm good.
It's just not appealing. We could talk about that later, but there's nothing
For another
appealing about
time. For another
it.
time.
It is just disgusting.
But here's the thing, like, everyone who knows me knows that I was a nomad as a child and still am to a point where I moved around a lot.
Yep.
So I didn't really have a lot of friends. And you know one of the biggest byproducts is of not having a lot of actual friends?
You make them up.
No.
Online friends.
Yes, to a point. But what's the individual effect? You have no self-esteem.
Oh.
You have no, like, confidence in yourself. Because you think it's your problem or your fault that you don't have friends. So then you go to the one route you can think of and you make online friends. Yet in a lot of the worlds it's kind of creepy or disturbing or, hey look, it's a 45-year-old guy who wants a child peen. So in order to...
Can we just address that there should be
The child
schween?
schween, definitely.
Sorry,
Oh,
child schween.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Damn it.
You're welcome.
Hashtag schween.
Why Schween?
Because it's the
That's
house word
disgusting.
Sully, you have not been paying enough attention.
to
Yeah,
the
That,
stream.
have we been saying this lately?
Yes, we've been saying schween lately.
Yeah, schween is a thing.
What
at
the
the
fuck
house.
have we been saying
Also,
this?
On the
also,
streams.
instead of saying blowjob, you should really
No.
start calling it
No.
slobbing on the knob.
Don't
Yes,
do
Or
it.
if you want to
Don't
simplify it,
even
just
think
knob
about it.
slobbing.
Knob slobbing.
Don't
Knob
think about
slobbing.
We
it.
can thank Brian for that one. Brian, if you're listening, we love you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is from the stream. This is what's been happening because every night in the stream it's been about the schween, and the first email they're gonna get when you guys get sub is the house schween.
That's gross.
Anyways,
It's
sorry.
gonna be
It's okay. No, that was a relevant point. I accept that. But back to what I was saying is that the entire idea, since you don't really want to meet the 45-year-old who wants to child tween, you create an online persona. You want that online persona, then it turns into role-playing. And to a point, you think it's not a big deal. To a point, it's just like a hobby or something you're doing, until that's all you think about.
Mhm.
You're not focusing on anything you're doing. You're thinking about what your next response is going to be in the online forums, the next thing you're going to be able to do, the next fixation for it, and then it gets to the point in which those long distance relationships happen,
Yep.
and
Absolutely.
those are emotionally fulfilling for someone who's in those scenarios, having lived that. And then the worst part about it is it's only emotionally fulfilling because it's immediate gratification. It's emotionally scarring is more so what it is. To the point where it ruins people. It ruined me for years, and to a point still has me with commitment issues that I'm still struggling with. So that, in and of itself, if we're going to go on the dark stride for here for just a moment, that kind of a mentality, that structure of your life being dictated by an online spectrum is legitimately awful.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, even I'm sorry, friends of the house.
No, I know what you're gonna say, and you can say it.
but is a totally valid like feeling and argument about LARPers.
It absolutely is.
100%. Every week LARP will happen or it'll be coming up, and that's all the topic is.
Yep.
It's the discussion about what's gonna happen in a fake life,
Yep.
which is like I totally get role playing because I love acting, and I've done enough online role playing myself growing up, but like it becomes an obsession.
Yeah,
Like
it
you were
does.
saying.
I've had that problem. Jeremy's been there.
Mm-hmm.
LARPing became
Our
our
lives.
entire life.
Yep.
For what, like a year and a
Yep.
half, something like that. We just did nothing but LARP, tabletop, other LARPs, talk about LARP. That's all we did.
Yep.
Yep.
It was crazy. Like, I was nuts. I didn't even have like real emotional relationships with the real people. I just cared about the characters. It was insane.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's the worst thing because I honestly didn't realize how much of an addiction it was until we started having this conversation about addiction.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of reminded me, like, I was actually planning a tabletop with a couple people. You know what? The only thing what was talked about is the fucking tabletop for an entire month. Never ended up happening. And to a point, I'm disappointed because it would have been a lot of fun. But at the same point, I'm glad. Because those things, for the right people who have lived their lives around that kind of concept, that takes over the entirety of your life.
Yep.
Without even intending or
Absolutely.
meaning it to.
Absolutely, it does. It's a problem.
It absolutely is a problem.
Another thing, speaking about like role playing and acting and stuff like that, during high school, I was legitimately addicted to like attention and like being on stage and
Yeah.
like being in front of people. I still kind of am in a way.
Well, you
It's
went-
part of why we're doing this.
You went to high school for a year after you
Yeah,
graduated.
because I liked being in theater so much. Like I think what it is I crave validation really, really badly. And that's why, well, it's not the sole reason why I create, but much of the reason why I create is so that people can watch it and like tell me that they liked it.
God, I remember you there too. Like,
Yep.
it was after you graduated, I was in Miss Hawkinson's class, like, was doing theater, and like, I look and there was like you, Sammy, like these two other people.
Allie.
Was it?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Allie
Yeah, it
and
was.
Erica.
Yeah.
Allie and Erica.
Goddamn
Um,
soft check.
And like, it was just like,
She's so pretty.
those
though.
four people just like chilling back there, and like obviously with my friends I'll turn back into like those four people like, the fuck are they?
Yep.
Yeah, I was legitimately addicted to like the attention and being in front of people and feeling validated. I still, like I said, I still am to a point, which is part of the reason why we're doing this. Like, it's not obviously it's not the biggest reason, but I certainly thoroughly enjoy
Oh, yeah.
being validated.
Well, we've even talked about like just like looking at the Housecast page and just seeing
our post
our post reach, and we were just like
Oh
being
god,
just
it feels
elated
so
over
good.
it.
It's like a drug.
Yeah, just
Well-
seeing hundreds of people have like seen reach on a post is like, oh wow, we are actually
Yeah,
You
Like
know?
it's getting noticed.
It gives
and,
me
like,
chills. Like I saw 642 post reach last week, or this week, I guess, and I just like literally got chills. I was like,
The hell is reach?
It's
How
how
many
many
people
people
have
you
seen
have
it?
engaged.
Yeah, so on Facebook, it basically keeps track of how many people saw a post.
It's like friends of friends, friends of friends of
Yeah,
friends
So
of friends.
642 people
Random stalkers who want your
saw
beard.
our like across all of our posts this week on the Housecast page. 642 people have seen our posts. That's insane to me. That we have reached that many people.
And I mean,
That's a crazy
here's the
feeling.
growing and more people
Oh
seeing
yeah,
and
absolutely.
enjoying
Absolutely.
and consuming this free entertainment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hashtag PewDiePie, we're coming for you.
Hashtag dream livers. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, dream livers. We need to make a T-shirt, and it's just a liver. It's just dream livers.
It's
just like a liver having a dream or something.
Yeah.
that's cute. I like it.
That'd be cool.
PewDiePie, I want a hug. Just saying.
Like,
Bro fist.
Yeah.
one of the bros.
All right, where are we at? Everybody,
I don't know. What's the time at this point?
Hour and 28
Oh dear God.
something.
Let's
All
wrap
right,
it up.
Now we gotta wrap it up. This has been really long. Wow, that was a good one. I feel like we got a lot. Jen missed 70% of it.
That was a good nap. I'll listen to the cast later.
Okay. So, thank you guys so much for listening. I really do appreciate it. I hope
Yeah,
that
if
you.
this wasn't obvious.
Yeah, I hope that you guys liked it and that you learned more about us and that you kind of understand us a little bit better. And I hope that you do come back, obviously. Obviously, watch our other content on YouTube as well. We've got game footage coming up now. We just played Iggy's Wreckin' Balls today, and that was
Your ass
interesting.
kicked in the second round, Sully.
Got my ass kicked in all that.
Yeah, that
game.
was.
Is that the first one? You
We're
won
gonna
the
have
first
some
one?
wet tricks up later.
That was all I
We played some
wanted.
Pokemon Snap with Jen.
Woot.
We did all kinds of stuff, and we're gonna keep doing all kinds of stuff. Make sure you follow us on Twitch. Jen, do you want to do our?
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.
There you go.
If you comment, we'll let you watch David play scary games.
Ooh,
Oh
oh,
no.
Yes.
That's not happening.
Comment
I
hard.
am not going to do that.
Do it.
I hate scary.
Anyways,
Which is why you'll
Okay,
do
we're
it.
wrapping it up.
the
We're wrapping
wrap.
up. For myself, Justin, Jen, Sultan, and the man, the myth, the legend, Jeremy Powell. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much, and good night.
Peace.
yeah. I don't even need to close it. That was a good close.
Especially since David's gonna play scary games.
So, David, when the scary games happen, I'll be here to support you. I will be in this room to support that.